This morning basically was a remembrance service in honour of the 874 Wexford men who died during the First World War. It's a recognition of the sacrifice they made for their country, and it's a recognition for their families of the pain that they suffered on behalf of the country that wasn't recognised properly. I've always been very sympathetic to the cause because my own great-grandfather was killed during the First World War, and I've always sat in the family and listened to my mother and my grandparents talking about the fact that when other people were able to go to, for example, the Potton and Crosstown, they could never go to remember their father and grandfather. And it's something I've talked about to people, that how important I felt it was to, and then people started naturally knowing that I was a conduit for this. So it was one of the things I decided when I was elected 4 years ago, and it's certainly one of the things that I profiled in my opening speech as mayor, that this is, I think, something we should do. And my inspiration obviously would come from people like Mary McAleese, who, for example, did bridge that barrier and did go out and say that this was something very important that should be done. It was an ecumenical cemetery with Reverend Arthur Minion and Father Jim Fagan. And we also had Lieutenant General Murray from the British Legion, and we had attendance basically from the British Legion, the ONE, the UN vets, the local British Legion, and branches from Limerick, Waterford and Dublin. And also we had there a beautiful detachment there from the Royal Navy, and it was a fantastic gesture. We're so delighted they were there. Also we have representatives of the American retired forces here, which again is the first time they've arrived in Wexford. So it was a great ceremony. The plaque was probably the thing that we had the most debate about and the most discussions about, because we had to negotiate very diplomatically with the Royal British Legion about the plaque, and I felt that it was most important that we would do it simply and make it as simple as possible. So the plaque reflects that, and it says, in honour of all the people from Wexford town and county who died during the Great War. So I think that was basically very simple, very pointed message that we need to remember. It's somewhere families can go and somewhere where they can remember. The wreath laying ceremony was very good because I, for example, represented the people of Wexford. Minister Brendan Howland represented the Irish government, and Minister Paul Kehoe represented the Irish Defence Forces. And it was the first time in Wexford that we've had a wreath laying ceremony in Wexford on behalf of all the men who died in the First World War. And it was great to see two ministers and the mayor making a statement to the people of Wexford that it's no longer time to be ashamed of this, that we need to basically recognise these men who give up their lives for the country.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. And the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Now that is the British Legion exhortation, and it's said at the beginning of every minute silence, or 2 minute silence, at a memorial service like this. And I followed it by an epitaph which was on the Kohima Memorial at the end of World War, put there at the end of World War II. When you go home, tell them of us. For your tomorrow, we gave our today. And there are two very appropriate things at the beginning and at the end.